Hello everyone, welcome to History and Culture. The Mongol Empire, spanning the vast Eurasian continent, reached its greatest extent at 24 million square kilometers, equivalent to half of Asia. Stretching from the Pacific Ocean in the east to Europe in the west, from the Arctic in the north to the Indian Peninsula in the south, its territory was vast beyond measure. The might of the Mongol Empire was owed to the invincible Mongol cavalry, and its establishment was attributed to Genghis Khan, also known as Temujin. It was Genghis Khan who transformed a collection of tribes, engaged in constant warfare, into an unbeatable military force. In spring 1234, Ogdi Khan decided to fulfill Genghis Khan's wish for a second European expedition. He ordered all Mongol princes and nobles below 10,000 households to send their eldest sons as leaders, known as the Elder Sons Expedition, led by Subu'tai's son Baidar. At that time, of Genghis Khan's 10 founding generals, only Subu'tai remained. According to Genghis Khan's wish, the actual ruler of this Elder Sons Expedition was Subu'tai, aiming to teach Baidar how to fight for future Mongol expansion. In autumn 1236, 150,000 Mongol troops arrived at the Volga River. With the help of Han artisans accompanying the army, the Mongols successfully crossed the river and defeated the Alans stationed on the banks of the Kama River, easily capturing the city of Bulgar. Subsequently, after defeating the local Cumans and nearby Alans downstream of the Volga, the Mongol army set its sights on what is now Russia. The following autumn, Mongol princes and their forces advanced in a hunting-like manner. Each unit conquered cities and tribes in its path, maintaining a certain distance between each other. By winter, the Mongol army had crossed the Moldavian region and entered the territory of modern-day Russia. The Mongols demanded tribute from the ruler of Russia, but their request was refused. The Russian ruler retreated to his capital after defeating the Mongol vanguard led by Gyuk, and the city was surrounded by the Mongol army. While fortifying the city defenses, the Russian ruler sent messengers to seek aid from Grand Prince Vladimir. Using siege weapons brought from the central plains, such as siege towers, catapults, battering rams, and fire bombs, the Mongols launched a fierce attack on the Russian city. The catapults hurled heavy stones and pots filled with explosives at the city walls, causing fires to erupt inside. Mongol soldiers and Russian captives sheltered behind shields, vigorously battering the city gates with battering rams. The next day, the Mongol army stormed the inner city, and the Russian ruler perished along with all defenders, leaving the entire city burned to the ground. In early 1238, the Mongol army continued its advance, invading the territory of the Vladimir Suzdal Principality in Russia. Grand Prince Yuri II stationed heavy troops in various castles to resist the Mongol invasion. Baidar personally launched an attack on Moscow, a newly emerging city situated at a strategic hub. Mongol soldiers erected siege ladders and threw ropes to climb the walls. After a fierce battle, Moscow fell. Subsequently, the Mongols besieged the capital of the principality, Vladimir, while Yuri II fled to Yaroslavl to gather troops and await reinforcements to save his capital. The Mongol army, led by Buri, continued to employ their usual tactics, using Russian captives as human shields, and began attacking Vladimir. After 4 days and nights of intense fighting, the Mongol army breached the city, and Yuri II's eldest son, the Grand Prince, fell in battle. After capturing Vladimir, the Mongols divided their forces to continue their offensive in various principalities. Faced with the continuous fall of cities throughout the principality, Yuri II led his army to the banks of the Sei River, relying on dense forests to dig trenches and build barricades. He also sent envoys to seek aid from other principalities in the Volga River basin, preparing to gather his forces here and engage in a decisive battle with the Mongols, known as the Battle of the Sei River. Upon learning of the reorganization of the Russian army, Subu'tai immediately dispatched Bayan as the vanguard, rushing to surprise the Russian army. At dawn, thousands of horses covered in frost thundered towards the Russian camp. The Mongols divided into 3 routes, one flanking each side of the Russian army, one heading directly for the rear of the camp, while another charged straight at the front. With the arrival of Subutai main force, the Russian line instantly collapsed, and Yuri too was killed by stray arrows. Thus, the entire Vladimir Suzdal Principality fell under Mongol rule. After a brief respite, the Mongol army marched north towards Novgorod. However, due to the onset of early spring and melting snow, the Mongols were blocked by vast marshes and had to turn southward, seizing cities such as Smolensk and Chernihiv along the way. Subsequently, the Mongol army continued southward, entering the western part of the Kuman steppe and defeating their leader, Khotan Khan. Khotan Khan had no choice but to retreat to Hungary with over 4,000 remaining troops. In autumn 1238, Mongol princes and their forces continued their separate campaigns. Monk and others attacked the Sarkal people, killing their ruler, Togrul, while Baydar's 2 brothers attacked the Crimean region and Berk, capturing the leaders of local Kuman tribes. Gayuk and Monk then led troops into the Alania region, besieging the capital of Maghaz. After 3 months of stubborn defense, the Alan surrendered, and Gayuk allowed their king to continue ruling his country, incorporating over 1,000 Alan soldiers into his personal guard. While the Mongol princes were campaigning in various regions, Subutai and Buri rested their troops east of the Volga River, preparing for another invasion of Russia. In autumn 1239, the Western Expedition Army set off from the Volga River again into Russia, and the following year, they broke through the southern Russian cities of Belaya Zemlya, Glukhov, and Chernihiv, advancing towards Kiev, where the Battle of Kiev was about to erupt. Kiev, protected by the Dnieper River, boasted strong fortifications with 3 layers of walls, making it easy to defend and difficult to attack. Due to a lack of boats, the Mongol army camped on the eastern bank of the river and sent envoys to negotiate surrender. However, Kiev not only refused but also killed the envoys, enraging Subutai, who ordered a full encirclement of the city with all available forces. Upon seeing the massive Mongol army occupying Kiev, its ruler, Mstislav the Bold, fled with his family, citing a need to seek aid from the King of Poland. With the arrival of winter, the Dnieper River froze over, allowing the Mongol army to cross the ice, surrounding Kiev from all sides. Siege weapons were erected around the city walls, and a full-scale assault was launched. Under relentless attacks, Kiev's defenses were breached, and Mongol troops poured into the city, engaging in fierce urban warfare with the defenders. After looting Kiev, the Mongols advanced into Galicia-Volhynia, where King Daniel fled to Hungary upon hearing the news. The Mongols conquered numerous cities in his domain, pacifying the entire region. The Mongols negotiated with the local residents, offering not to destroy their cities and villages in exchange for food supplies, and the entire army gathered and rested in Galicia-Volhynia. To consolidate their occupation of Russia, the Mongols had to continue advancing westward, into Poland and Hungary. In February 1241, the Mongol right-wing army crossed the Vistula River and began a probing attack. Subsequently, the Mongol right-wing army invaded Poland and defeated a coalition of Polish princes in the Battle of Sandomierz, burning the city of Krakow to the ground. After their victory, the Mongols continued their attack on the Polish vassal state of Silesia. Henry II of Silesia assembled an army of 80,000 from Poland, Germany, and Bohemia, ready to face the Mongols in a decisive battle, which erupted in the Battle of Liegnitz. The coalition was divided into 5 parts. The first consisted of German crusaders and Polish miners, the second was the Polish army, the third was led by the brothers of the Polish king, the fourth was the Teutonic Knights, and the fifth was the Silesian army. This coalition was the most elite force in Europe at the time. On April 9, 1241, after Henry II and the princes attended Mass in a church, they led their forces out of the city to confront the Mongols. The Mongol army, led by Batu and Orda, numbered only 30,000. Both sides deployed on the plains, and the battle began. The first part of the coalition, the German Crusaders, formed up in orderly ranks with crosses on their chests, singing military hymns, and launched the first attack against the Mongols. Orda employed Mongol hunting techniques, feigning retreat, drawing the Crusaders into pursuit, then suddenly surrounding them when they thought they had won. With a rain of arrows, all the way from the commanders to the foot soldiers of the Crusaders fell in battle. Seeing the first army ambushed, the second and third armies rushed to the rescue. Taking advantage of the confusion, the main Mongol forces quickly broke out of hiding, encircling and annihilating the disordered Crusaders in a brilliant maneuver. Under the Mongol cavalry charge, the enemy scattered, and even the elite 4th and 5th armies of the coalition had to engage to support the fleeing troops. The heavily armored knights of the Teutonic Order charged towards the Mongols, only to be divided and surrounded by Mongol horsemen, resulting in the complete destruction of what was considered Europe's finest Germanic knightly order. This battle resulted in heavy casualties for the Polish-German coalition, and Henry II was killed in battle. After the resounding victory, the Mongol army continued to attack Moravia and Bohemia, capturing cities such as Opava and Brno. After securing victory in the west, Batu Khan and Subutai Khan, together with their troops, headed back eastward, ending the Second Mongol Western Expedition. This is History and Culture channel. Like and subscribe are the biggest help and support for us. Thank you everyone. See you next time.